This conversation is taking place at the Grand Opera House.
We're talking with Chandlee Kuhn, the Chief Judge of the Family Court of the State of Delaware. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The Family Court is kind of a strange court in that it has a wide range of jurisdictional and governance issues, everything from adoption to visitation, A to V. Tell me, why did you want to serve on that court?
I fell in love with family court when I started there as a bailiff when I was 22 years old. And after that, I became a corporate litigator. And for me, family court is where all humanity in Delaware comes. And I just really wanted to help. And it's the place where you can be with Delawareans who need assistance, who are most often good people in a tough place in their life.
What kind of background do you think is suitable for a family court judge? You have 17 judges on the court. I know a number of them. They're very different people. But what's the core that you would identify in each of them?
No one has ever asked me that question. It's such a great question. The core that brings us all there, because we choose, in Delaware, we choose to go to family court, where in most states, the family court is a division of another court, and it's a stepping stone. But in Delaware, we all choose to be where we are. I think it's the dedication to people and wanting to help. The most important thing that judges in Delaware bring to the court when they're chosen by the governor and confirmed by the Senate is intelligence, hard work, but a deep, deep concern and caring for the people that are before them. We're not dealing with the same type of issues as we deal with in the Court of Chancery, which is very important. We're dealing with lives. We're dealing with children who have been abused. We're dealing with domestic violence. We're dealing with the juvenile justice system, which oftentimes begins with the child welfare system and kids who have been abused themselves. So it's this fundamental and very deep caring that goes along with the ability to apply facts to law, which every judge must do.
There are a number of people now who focus on juvenile issues that seem to be operating without that collaboration. A couple of them are having some real success. The truth. Johnny Silverstein, my friend at the Delaware Girls Initiative, is having some real success.
Yes.
My daughter, who lives in New York, is in a program called Girls Right Now, WRITE, but it's a double entendre. There seems to be less focus on young men, to me. That is not a lot of stuff going on around them. Is there a reason for that, or am I wrong?
I don't think you're wrong. I think what happened was, for years, because the number of girls in our juvenile justice system and the girls at risk were almost invisible for years, then at least in Delaware, I can speak to the Delaware Girls Initiative, that was the first initiative to truly look at gender-based programming. We said when we began the Delaware Girls Initiative that we knew that we were looking at the 25% of girls that were literally known to be at risk in the juvenile justice system. But if you could figure out how to do it right for girls, you could definitively figure out how to do it right for boys. I think that both need to be addressed, because I do believe as there are gender-based issues for girls, there are gender-based issues for boys. But if you look, even in Delaware, the majority of our programming in juvenile justice historically has been boy-based. It's historically been boy-based. We only have 12 beds at Grace Cottage, I think it's 12, for girls, where we have Ferris, we have Snowden, and now we have co-ed institutions, but that's different. So we do need to focus on boys and girls.
Mayor Baker was talking recently about, the problems in mostly African-American communities here. And he talked about, a lot of dysfunction and children having children and how that has to stop. And that often results in young people coming before you, either as in crime or in custody issues. He he seems somewhat hopeless about ending this cycle. Do you share that, or do you think that there are ways that we can get out of this?
I'm not hopeless, but I think it's going to take everyone in the nation deciding that this is a significant issue for our nation. It is not something that a small, limited number of people can care about any longer. The issue of child welfare and when I talk about child welfare, I mean our foster care system, and children who are dependent, neglected, and abused, who become the gateway to our prison system. Because oftentimes they've been abused, they become abusers. I mean, now that we are getting very good statistics, we're beginning to be able to dig down to the root cause of what is so very broken in our I want to say inner cities, but it's bleeding beyond the inner cities. It's a fundamental problem. I'm not hopeless, but it's going to take a lot of work on a lot of our parts to really dig down and figure out how to get to it.
You're connected with Content Delaware.